Okie dokie, folks. The search engine optimization word choices came up as feet and toes. So I am using my SEO search for this vlog. And also just in general, because I got in a little bit of a tiff, a little cyber fight on LinkedIn about service. And when we get service, should we tip? And I guess tipping is just too much for them. It's too exaggerated. It's really horrible. You're tipping people. Horrible person. But given that I obviously can't even shave my own legs sometimes to get my pedicure, hence why I didn't go get a pedicure. I'm doing it at home. And it says I have to soak my feet for 10 minutes. I can understand why those chairs that you see at nail salons and hairdressers and really expensive spas cost $5,000. I would love to be relaxing right now. Instead, I'm just out in the backyard trying to soak my feet because I think I have a hangnail in one of my toes. Anyway, it's just kind of bothering me. And when you walk 5 to 8 miles or 10 miles sometimes, it kind of is annoying to do. It is just ever so slightly annoying. Just a little bit. Not a lot. It's a little bit. But it does happen. And so I have to do this, and I'm doing it outside because it is a beautiful day. Yes. Woo, look at that. Blue sky. Blue sky. Yay, blue sky. Not in love with the power lines, but anyway. So in my vain effort to garner views and stuff and listen to what the YouTube creators are doing, I searched up SEO words and toes and feet came up. Now, I admit, I have not seen a podiatrist. I have not been to a pedicurist. I look at my feet and I go, 5 toes, good. I do have a little thing like tearing off my toenails. It's the weirdest satisfaction thing I'll ever admit to. I don't know what it is, but one toenail, like especially on my big toe, if that toenail gets too long, it's off. It's coming off. And then of course the other ones, but there was this whole thing on the diabetics and their feet, and like you have to do this, you have to take care of your feet, you have to like take care of your toes anytime you have any problems. It doesn't really help when your shoes cause a little rub. So I can't wear those Keds anymore because I have to figure out how to wear thick socks with them, I guess. But if you wear thick socks, then your toes sweat, then you have feet smell. It's a whole thing. But, you know. And anyone who mentions my hairy legs, I don't know. Maybe I'll reply to you. I have no clue. But I have to do this for 10 minutes. And it's been 3 minutes and 48 seconds, and I am having a hard time imagining the next 6 minutes here as we crank up to 4. But they say to soak them for 10 minutes. And, there's a little pad here. Yes, it's unplugged. I'm trying not to use the machine. There's rub spots on here. There's all sorts of cool gadgets. But when you're outside, there's not really a plug outside in the outdoors. But you still have to soak your feet. So after walking close to 9,000 steps this morning and doing some laundry and cleaning my room and biking for 30 minutes, I figured now is a good time just to sit and relax and soak my feet, which is by the way, not as much fun as it used to be when you were a kid. Remember we used to like run for the bathtub or run from it, depending on your point of view. I don't know. There are some people that think the bathtub is going to suck them dry, or they're going to see monsters under the bubbles. I never saw monsters under the bubbles. I saw Adventureland in the tub. The tub was where all the bubbles were, and I was one of the bubbles. I was in the bubbles. It was fun. I had squeaky ducks. I had boats. I had Barbie. Barbie cannot swim in the pool. If you ever try to put Barbie in her bathing suit in the bathtub with you, she will bob for a minute and then she'll just sink to the bottom, which was kind of sad. I always had to save Barbie, but that's for another story and another line. I should add music to this. We've got 4 more minutes, folks. Trust me, it's a long 4 minutes for me too. So anyway, I got into this like tipping argument on LinkedIn, and the reality is that I was getting tip shamed by Capital One. They would literally send me an email stating, "Are you sure you meant to leave a 23% tip?" And I'm like, we're talking about a $45 meal where I left like $9. And I think that's the minimum I could have done. I mean, I don't know if it was like $9 or $11, whatever it is. And it really annoyed me because it was like, it was some kind of like safety trigger for them if somebody left a large tip. Like somehow it was going to capture that restaurant, that server put an extra tip in there. No, that's not the case. What is interesting is that businesses that used to not allow tipping, I know of 2 restaurants and a coffee. It was like it was a bar. I think it was like a bar. But it was like in the daytime you had regular drinks, at nighttime it turned into more atmosphere. There'd be poetry readings, I don't know. And they didn't allow tipping, and they've all closed. So if that's an indication of where the economy is on tipping, it kind of tells you something. Like, granted, these places paid their employees more, so they didn't need to have a tip. And then they ended up closing because they couldn't afford the business, not just because of overhead, but because, they weren't getting business. And I don't know if not tipping was one of the reasons. I mean, they weren't like far off places. These were like downtown San Francisco, midtown Monterey and stuff like that. But who knows? They just closed. And there's that other point where maybe as a business owner, people realized that they weren't making as much profit because they had such high overhead, or they had such high quality in product, or they did something so that it seemed better for them to close and lay off 10 people as opposed to have to bring in another investor or do a different business plan to bring in more business that would cause them to have more profit. I think that's one of the few things that business owners kind of forget, is that they do have to make a profit, and if they're not making a profit, there's something wrong, and that's when they should pivot and say, hey, this isn't working out. I should stop here, Instead, you see sometimes businesses go way beyond their pain points and stretch themselves incredibly thin and not look at like, okay, here's your debits, here's your income, here's your losses. They're not looking at those 3 things. They think that they're always going to make more money, or that the next job is going to give them more money. It's not. It's literally, this is why some businesses, when you ask for things, they give, astronomical numbers. Okay, we made it. It's been 10 minutes. I am all done. This has been fun. I've done all my parts. And by the way, I put some like soap in there and I scrubbed my feet and did that whole thing, and that's it. That's today's vlog. Feetsies!